How much fun are these? These are reversible headbands with a little piece of elastic in 6 different sizes. So we can go from adult to baby. This is a size that I wear. It's the adult small medium. It is 21 inches, got some stretch to it. I use a 1/2 inch elastic. And all you do is you kind of stretch it to get it over your head. Get your hair out of the way. Pull the elastic against the back of your neck, make sure it's kind of even. And then just push it up, push your hair out if you want a little bit, and you are ready to go. No digging into the side of your head, super comfortable. I absolutely love it. You could probably make these in 10 to 15 minutes once you give 1 or 2 a try. So let me show you how easy these are to make. Here's what I'm going to be using to make a double-sided fabric headband with a piece of flat elastic. I'm using 1/2 inch flat elastic. You could also use 1 inch, but this is just what I happen to have. I like how it stretches and I like the thickness of it on my head. So we're going to make an adult size. Also, I have a pattern in my Etsy shop that gives you 5 other sizes from large adult all the way down to baby. So for the adult, if you didn't want to get the pattern, let me measure this out for you. You're basically going to take a piece of paper that is 9 inches top to bottom. And then you're going to cut angles on each side so that the top is 1.5 inches and the bottom is 2.5 inches. Now, the reason I decided to do this size, so that it will be basically 2 inches wide at the thickest, it's kind of a fun, thick size for prints, so you can really see what's going on. And if you're a quilter, this is a great way to use up some of your extra 2.5 inch strips. If you're not a quilter, totally fine. Find some long scraps of fabric and you will also be good to go. So you need 2 pieces of fabric, one for the one side and one for the other. It's reversible, so it doesn't really matter which is which. I'm going to use a bobbin thread to match this fabric. So when I go and top stitch at the end, I like to use top thread and bobbin thread that matches the fabric on each side. It makes it more subtle, it holds it together, but if you're not perfectly straight as you sew, it's not going to be noticeable. So for like this one, I used a red top thread and a black bobbin. For this, I'll keep the white top thread and just switch out the bobbin to a yellow. We need some pins. I'm going to show you how I use a hot ruler to make one of the turning parts a little bit easier. You can do it with and without, but this is one of my favorite tools, so I like to show you how that's used. Rotary cutter and acrylic ruler. I also like to use my tube turner to get this turned right side out. It works really well, with the exception of maybe the baby one. It gets a little hard to use on this size because the elastic is so close to how wide this is. So you will probably need to use a safety pin for this one, but this works mostly for the others and I'll show you how it's going to work with this. We're going to start by cutting the template. And with most patterns, they would say, cut the template from 2 different fabrics. I do it a different way just to be faster and more efficient. Now you'll notice this is a directional fabric. The chicken heads are all on this side and their bottoms are on this side. You want to make sure your direction is going the short way and not the long way. Otherwise you would have chickens sliding off, like they would be right side up on one side of your head and upside down on the other. So I like them this way. And as luck would have it, that is how these strips are always cut. I am going to grab my rotary cutting mat. If you have one of these, it makes cutting this pretty handy. You don't have to have one. You can obviously just move the fabric. Now with a printed template, you can kind of look if you have the room and the length and decide like what part you want to be in the middle and kind of say, okay, I want this black chicken in the center of my headband. So I'm going to fold it right there. You don't have to do that, but that's one way you can really be particular about what is on your headband. And you can pin and cut this, but since I'm using a rotary cutter and a ruler, I usually don't. I do this. I put this down and I have it covering the whole template and lined up on the edge. And then I cut that side. And then I just gently pivot my ruler so that it is lined up with this end. And I cut that end. Now I keep everything in place and I spin this around. This is why I like to use this rotating mat, or you can spin your entire mat, or you can just move your fabric, obviously. And then I just slide this over and then do the other side. So my fabric and my template have never moved. I don't have to line it back up, and it is good to go. Now we have our fabric piece. Put that like that. And we have the other fabric that we're going to use for the other side. Oh, and we have our elastic. When I was testing this pattern, I tried it a couple different ways. I figured out exactly how long this elastic was going to need to be the size that I wanted this to be for my head. So a standard, like small, medium, adult, if your head is about 21.5 to 22 inches around, you're going to want your headband to be about 22 inches. So kind of did the math, how this was going to be, what the elastic needed to be, but I don't know, something shifted a little bit and it wasn't quite long enough. So in my pattern, I always call for much longer elastic than you think you need so that you can adjust it if needed. So this is 8 inches long. Now, before we clip and pin any of this together, we are going to use the hot ruler. We're going to iron 1/4 inch on one end of this fabric and one short end of this fabric. And the reason I do this, I've tried it both ways, and I like to show you the quick and easy ways when I do my tutorials. When we're going to sew this together, the elastic is going to get sewn into one of these ends as we sew around. Then we're going to turn it right side out, and we're going to have to fold this end in. But I have found that if you pre-press, it helps a lot. All right, so I'm just going to put a piece of dark canvas down on my ironing surface so that you can see what I'm doing. You could do fabric, whatever you want. I'm just doing this because it was the closest at hand. Okay, that's much better. You're going to be able to see and not be trying to look at white on white. So you want a straight line on your uncut fabric, and then you're going to take one of the short ends on your cut fabric, and I'm going to put this hot ruler on here and just push that back. So we're folding wrong side to wrong side, about 1/4 inch. If you do it a little bit more, not a big deal. This hot ruler is just really nice because you can iron right on it, and it's really easy to see that it is straight across. Now this is so small, it's pretty easy to fold by yourself as well, but I just like me a hot ruler. Another thing I like that I didn't have out at the beginning is a clapper. This is a hard piece of unfinished wood. You put it down when you have pressed. It takes the heat out of the fabric and helps that crease stay creasier, sharper, crisper. I don't know, what word do you use? I can never come up with my words when I'm doing my video. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this other fabric. So that's how you use a hot ruler. The longer the piece that you need to fold and press to any distance, up to 4 inches, the more handy this is, because the harder it becomes to do it on your own. So now we're going to take these fabrics, right sides together, and we're going to line up these folded edges so that they're flush. And then you're going to make sure that the cut piece covers and doesn't like go off of your other piece. Now we're going to take our elastic. I'm going to put it down the center of the fabric because we need it in between these two layers. And you need it laying nice and flat. And then you need it to be lined up with the edge of the cut one and in the center. You don't want the edge of the elastic to be caught in your side seam allowances. And then if you want to, you can cut this now. I'm going to cut it later. So I'm just going to use a pin and pin those three together, the elastic and the 2 layers of fabric. Make sure that all stays flat. And then I'm going to put 2 more pins down the center just to keep everything in place for when we go to sew. Okay, now before we go and sew, I'm going to come back to these folded edges and I'm going to open them up. I found you get a better finish if you sew with them open instead of folded back and then flip them. And then our original crease is going to make it easier to turn right side out. You'll see. I don't know. It's sounding complicated to me as I'm trying to explain it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to sew all the way down here, across and up here with a 1/4 inch seam. And we're going to double back where the elastic is to give it nice stability. Now we have sewn the cut fabric and the elastic onto the back, and now we're just going to trim the back fabric to the size of the template shaped fabric. I find this to be so much faster and easier when you're sewing 2 shapes together to just cut one if you have another piece of fabric that is a little bit bigger and you can make sure you're not going to go over the edges. I do this a lot with baby things as well. Now I'm just going to take scissors, and I'm not going to cut on the open end. but I'm going to trim the corners on the end where we sewed it shut. And I'm not going to trim that elastic that's in there. And then just make sure that you're not cutting your stitches. Now comes the trickier part of turning it right side out. So I'm going to be using this tube turner. Sometimes people are telling me they're using boba straws and chopsticks. Might work for this. The one thing you have to be careful about is when you put this in, you want it to go in front or behind the elastic and not push the elastic so that it folds up in there, because then it's not going to work. If that happens, just take this out, flatten that elastic back out, and try again. So I'm just going to put this in here. Oop, that elastic started to bend. I could feel it, so I made sure it went in front of it. So now it's to the bottom. Then I'm going to take the rounded end. I'm going to push that into the tube. And then when it comes out, I'm just going to pull the tube down. I don't want to push it all the way out because you risk pushing that point through your stitching. But before I take the dowel rod out, I'm going to just gently push on those corners to make those nice and flat, and then just dump it out. Love that thing. All right, we're going to get our ironing surface back up here. And now we just need to press this flat so that the seams are on the edge. We don't want to see any white from the yellow side or any yellow from the white side if we have done our job. You also want to be careful about how much you let the iron touch elastic. I don't know if you remember when we were all sewing masks because you couldn't find any way back in 2020. You had to be careful to not melt that elastic as well. So I just do little bits at a time. I just kind of take my fingers and roll the fabric until I have that seam where I want it and get it ready for a few inches. And then I'll press and then keep going. These headbands are a great way to use 2.5-inch strips if you're a quilter. Also a great way to use your fabric scraps. Everyone has fabric scraps, right? And they sew up so quickly. Think gifts, stocking stuffers, birthday gifts, themed gifts, etc. So let me know in the comments who you're going to make these for. Make sure you're on the list and what kinds of fabrics you might use. I'm always curious. Now when you get close to the end, don't press the end completely because you don't want to get rid of that fold that we put in at the beginning. So I'm going to press to about 1 inch from the open end. And then you can kind of see that fold line. And I'm just going to push that down. And that makes getting this in here evenly so much easier than just trying to do it from unpre-pressed, because getting these seams on the sides down flat in such a skinny little space, it gets tricky. Sometimes I take the dowel rod just to kind of push that seam over. I want that to be as straight as possible. Once you make 1 or 2 of these, you can probably do them in 10 to 15 minutes. They get really quick. And if you're mass producing, like to sew and sell, you just do each step at the same time. So do all of your cutting, do all of your pinning, do all of your sewing, do all of your pressing, etc. So now we have our reversible headband and our big piece of elastic in an open end. Now it is time to make the final sizing. So if I was just making these to sell and I wanted to do the most common size, I would say, okay, look at my template, 22 inches. So I would fold this in half and I would place it on my mat, or you could put it against a ruler, and half of 22 is 11. So I would have this all flat, 11 inches is right here, and then I would just fold that elastic back. So you'll see, like I said, I like way extra elastic. You can trim that once we are sure about the fit. Because this is for me, I'm going to set it to 22 and I'm going to test it on myself before I sew it together. I just want to make sure it's comfortable. It's not too tight, it's not too stretched, etc. So I'm just going to put a safety pin there. And now I'm going to try it on my head. Look how cute this is. I mean, you can still see the elastic. That won't be there once we tuck it inside and sew it, but I am really happy with the feel. It's not too tight. It's not too loose that it's gonna fall off. Yeah, I really like it. This is gonna be fantastic when I just want my hair out of my face so that I can cut, sew, paint, whatever, or just, you know, keep my hair out of my face when it's warm for summer. So I'm happy with the size. I'm gonna take it off. We're going to go back to the workstation. I'm going to cut a little bit of that extra off. We don't need that much stuck in there. And I'm going to mark, and we're going to sew this thing together. So the 22 inches works really well on me. I'm going to cut off a few inches here. I'm going to put an itty bitty mark above where the edge of the fabric is, so I know I want that inside. Take this little safety pin off, tuck that in, just past that little mark, and then I'm going to put a clip. Now we're going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to sew all the way around, and it is going to be all done. Super quick and easy. Because I have basically a yellow fabric on one side and white on the other, I want to use white and yellow thread. And when I'm using a bunch of different ones, if I'm keeping changing, I usually like to change the bobbin thread if I have the choice. It's just a lot faster than rethreading my entire machine. So I switched that to yellow. And then I'll just flip this over so that the white will have the top thread and the yellow will have the bobbin thread. Because both sides of the stitching are going to show, I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread so that I don't end up with nasty knots. Here's my example. This can happen when you just start sewing. Sometimes the sewing machine will suck down the top thread, like this end here, and make this complete mess. And you certainly don't want that on the outside of a reversible anything. Or on anything if you don't want to. You want it to look like this. This is back and forth and it's knotted and it looks beautiful. So the way we're going to do that is by pulling up the bobbin thread. So you're going to hold your top thread, put your foot down, and I usually start a few inches from the edge where we're going to be back stitching for the elastic. Put the needle down while holding your thread, lift it up, give a little tug, and you can see the bobbin thread there. Now I always keep tweezers so that I can grab that without poking my finger. Then I have both threads in my hand. I use my tweezers to push them down so I can get them under the presser foot. And now I'm holding them. I'm not pulling, but I am holding that nice and taut. Now I'm going to take about 2 to 3 stitches forward and then back, all the while holding the thread, because that is going to make sure we don't end up with one of those ugly knots. Now I'm going to sew all the way around, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Now when we turn, this is where we put that in, so it might move a little bit. You want to make sure you have it aligned so it's centered and it's straight. It's not like crooked. You want it to look good. And to make sure it's nice and secure, you want to sew back over it and then over it again. You're not going to need to do that on the other side because this one has already been sewn twice, so you can just go over it once when we get there. I'm just going to keep sewing, and as I go, I'll just pull this so that it stays flat as it gets to the presser foot. And that is how easy they are to make. So you can see it's top stitched in yellow here and white on the back, so it's subtle. If it wasn't perfectly straight, you're not really seeing that. This is the adult small medium. This is for bigger, like a bigger or with thicker hair, tween, child, toddler, and a baby. So really about 1/2 inch to 1 inch difference in each of these. If you want more elastic, less fabric, you can adjust them, but let me know in the comments who you're going to make these for and what types of fabrics. Are you going to do seasonal? Are you just going to do favorite colors? I would love to know how you're going to use this. Big thumbs up for this project. It is a great way to use your 2.5 inch fabric strips. It is also a great way to use up your fabric scraps. Perfect gift. Sew and sell, put it in a little gift basket for a girls trip, for a slumber party, for a spa day, keep your hair back, do your little facials together. So many ways to go.